Then I will start the roleplay now, and please tell me if you can hear it well, because that is very important, of course.
I'm ready anytime.
Can anybody hear that?
Yes, we can hear
Yes?
it.
Perfect.
Yes, perfect.
Awesome. What we will do here is I will just play the roleplay and I will stop it at certain times. Sometimes ask you what you think of it, and sometimes explain what I, because I have a few powerful hypnosis techniques inside.
At a NASSOR HTC.
Hello, Adam.
Can anybody hear Kosta? It sounds very, very silent.
A very low voice.
Yeah, but can you hear him?
Yeah, but it's very sounds very low.
Oh, he's muted.
No, he's not muted, but he has a very his voice is very, on the recording it is very, very low. It's true. So let's see if I can increase that somehow.
This is the time I should give you a call.
It's true. Greetings, Kosta. Welcome. Nice to have you on the phone. What can I do for you today?
Right. So I've been following Dan Log for 5 minutes.
Can you hear what he says?
Yep.
Yeah, it's better now.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Perfect. So let's start with that. How did I start? How did I start the call? What did I say?
Nice to have you here.
Exactly. What does that do?
Invites him in.
Yes. And I did not say, how are you today, right? Why did I say nice to have you here instead of how are you today?
You're welcoming him in as your equal.
Exactly.
Starting a interrogation process.
Exactly. And when I say nice to have you here, I very subtly establish an authority as a host. And the host has the authority. Nice to have you here. It is my domain. You come into my call. Oh, by the way, somebody recording?
Yep.
Perfect. This will work very fine. So I see I just dodged a huge bullet there. Good that we switched to Discord. Oh my god. Because we have a few members that were joining in, that wanted to join, that are not in Inner Circle. And I will discuss Inner Circle techniques that could have cost me my HTC membership. I'm very happy that I remembered that we should not meet outside of HTC and Discord, right? Lucky me. All right. So let's continue. Oh, I also said, what can I do for you? Right? So that question is very important. Why?
It shows him that you cater to his needs as opposed to your own agenda.
Exactly. Because if I would have started like, hi, how are you today? By the way, here's how this call will go. That would have broken rapport pretty quickly, right? Because it's also not my style. So let's continue.
I keep learning things about sales, marketing, but I have no idea how to utilize them in my life. And he keeps telling success stories about students and things like that. And if you can talk with one of my students, like here is a link, you can book a time if you want to.
So what happened here? What did he tell me right now?
It was a bit difficult to hear, but he pretty much, because you invited him to the conversation, he just expressed something related to him regarding the unlocked content, right? Did I get that right?
Exactly. So in that case, what happened here was, you are right, because I invited him, I was able to immediately get his information out of him. He immediately told me, hey, I've been watching the Long's content for so long time now. I've seen the testimonials. I have talked about, I want to talk with a student and I wanted to do that. So now I know exactly where he comes from, because only a few videos of Sifu say, hey, if you want to talk to one of my students, I know these are one of the older videos. So therefore, I know specifically that he comes from the older content, which means I have to adapt to a completely different level of what he knows, because the Sifu back then is different than the Sifu now. So therefore, from this information I knew, I have to a little bit adapt to what he says. So that's the Let's continue.
Mhm.
That sentence was important. I follow him for so long, but I never got the chance to speak to one of you guys. What does that mean?
Pointing to the old system, maybe he wasn't reached out to on time and the lead went cold, or he didn't immediately follow up on taking a decision towards investing in himself. So it can be
Exactly.
2 ways.
Exactly what he said. I didn't get the chance to speak to one of you guys. So it is a chance for him. He sees it as something special to talk to me.
Yeah,
So
because
I know
over the time, my curiosity has grown more and more.
exactly. So that is also very powerful, right? Because since your curiosity has grown, you value it way higher, so your needs are higher, which is a very important sign for me, because I need to respect that.
Really? Did you not get an appointment, or did you not just find the time?
This is why I asked this question. Because I wanted to know, was it our fault or his?
Got it. Okay. And now is the right time? Why now?
Why did I ask this question?
Is it because you want to know the motivation why he wants to make a move now instead of before? Something
Exactly.
must be going on exactly now that is different from previously why he didn't take action.
Exactly. Because specifically if somebody tells me, I have been following for so long, I need to know what is the motivator now, because that might lead me to his biggest pain. And there I also set up that something is different now. Because when I say what is different now and he gives me an answer, I immediately pull him out of his previous life. Because when I say what is different now, basically I am giving him a suggestion. Things are different now. Things have changed, so he cannot fall back at his old self anymore. Because things are different. It's a very subtle thing, but this question is extremely powerful. What is different now? Why now? That is the idea that you want to convey. This is why I said that. Because this way you can basically hypnotize him into understanding that things are not as they were.
Right.
It also helps you preempt the time commitment objection as well as urgency
100%.
further down the line of the call.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Can you repeat that again? Can you say that again? Preempt what?
Time objection.
Okay.
And urgency objection from his side. Adam can always fall back to the answer he will give to this question as a reminder of what he said as a prospect,
Yeah.
Right.
early in the call.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's a very, very important thing. Because this way, because of that, I eliminate one of the most intense objections, most hardcore objections to handle without even addressing it directly. It saves a lot of time.
Curious to learn how is it like.
Okay. And what is catching your interest in this?
So here are two things. I know I'm pausing like at every sentence, but I really want to debrief and break this down, right? So the basic idea is, hear what I did. You could hear my tonality, right? I was like, okay. So why? And then I started to go into a question. Did you notice how uninterested my voice sounded?
It's one of those situations. I don't know if I brought you up this example. I was talking to somebody in the Audi dealership, and the first question was, "Why Audi?" So similar to, why this program? Why now? And then I said, "Well, if you want to purchase an Audi, why not go across the street to the used car dealership? They also sell Audis in pretty much perfect conditions at a much cheaper price." And they started justifying their presence within the place, and it's going to determine Kosta to justify his presence within the call. Is my
It's a
take
good
on it.
tip, but let's listen to it again.
And what is catching your interest in it? Okay. Okay. And what is catching your interest in this?
So the was curious, but the okay was meh. And then I asked, like, what is catching your interest? Now here is the hypnotic part of it. By changing the vibration of my voice, by changing the intensity of my voice and the sound of my voice, I could tell him how to feel. Your voice is like the score of a movie. So therefore, the first thing I did is I gave him curiosity. Why? Because he said himself he was curious more and more. But that reason was not enough. Like if I would have accepted that reason as the reason why he's on a call, I would never have gone deeper. So therefore, when I said, I was adapting to his curiosity. Then with the, okay, I was basically sounding like, yeah, that's not enough. That's like nothing. And then I asked a question. Before, only with my voice, I told him basically, hey, there must be more why you're curious. Then I asked him the question to get a different answer than if I would only have asked it. Does it make sense so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. The subtle powers of hypnosis. Let's go on.
Not side. But I like always have no idea.
So now I have his reasoning. Now I know he's an emerald. I know what he wants to go for, what he tried, and I know his problem. He doesn't know about sales and marketing. He always knew about the other stuff. Now, will I accept this or not?
Learn well. Like most people in high school, they are all about the writing.
Adam, it seems like your mic is kind of breaking down.
Okay. Good to know. Is it still like that?
No,
Yeah,
we couldn't
somehow.
hear him. We couldn't hear what he was saying.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
It's
breaking down.
only breaking up when he talks.
Okay, yeah, because he's very, very silent. But let's see, maybe I have an idea. Let's check up the mic here. Let's see.
Okay.
And I have no idea about sales and marketing.
Better?
So, yeah, I mean, I have to learn how to communicate as well. Like most people in my
That's
school,
better.
all about like writing
Awesome.
some code, and that's it. They don't even know
Hmm.
how to form teams with each other and do teamwork.
Got it. I mean, on the other hand side, like, dude, you're a computer scientist and you say it's too boring. Like, what kind of a genius are you?
That here was a combination of reverse psychology and rapport building. Basically, I didn't accept him. Oh yeah, I want to learn all that. I wasn't going into. Oh cool, then you're right here for us, right? I was like, dude, you're already a genius. What do you want to do here, right? So I acknowledged his powers, but at the same time, I was questioning, why do you want to change? Like, you're perfect where you are. So I was using a reverse psychology without being too blunt about it.
I don't know. This is just me. I mean, whenever I write code, I feel confident about my ability to understand these things.
Okay.
But whenever I speak with people, I don't get it. I just don't get it. That's why I'm really trying to understand how this business thing works, online marketing, all of these things. And it all boils down to like communication one-on-one. And even if I start like my own business, like let's say code consultancy, have my own team of software engineers writing code for companies, I'd still need to negotiate with them and things like that, and also have a good communication and managing skills. So that's why I'm following that.
Boom. Now this slide, rapport building, reverse psychology, made him tell me all the justifications why he wants to learn from Sifu. Now I got all the infos. I took furious notes on that. And now I know exactly what is driving him. But the one red thread that comes through it again and again and again is not sales. What is it? What is he saying again and again and again that is important to him?
He wants to be able to
Communication.
negotiate.
Communication.
Exactly. He wants to communicate with people. And this makes sense because computer engineers have the cliche that they cannot talk to people, right? Like they are down in a cave and don't speak to people and they only are in front of the computers. And he's basically living up to the cliche there at this kind of prospect. So.
Got it. Okay. So basically you want to upgrade your skill level to the next stage, so to say, to complement what you already can do. And you just like in this specific area then.
Yes, I really like the technology industry that if you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to know how to sell. Everybody says that.
True. But why is it important for you to become an entrepreneur? Because you're already good at computer science. What's so bad about that?
Reverse psychology the second time.
Well, there are lots of things that I like about entrepreneurship. The main thing is that because I live in Greece, the job market here is terrible. Yeah, that's the most accurate word to describe it. So I will either have to become a freelance or a private contractor for companies from other countries like the USA, and there are lots of ways to do it if you are proficient in knowledge. In terms of becoming a software engineer, of course. But if you want to become an entrepreneur, it's going to be much more profitable. You're going to have a consistent amount of workload. You can have a team of people that are helping each other out, and the cash flow is going to be much more consistent. And it's also scalable. You can make more money with it than working and doing everything by yourself.
Can you see that every single time when I use reverse psychology, I'm getting a huge chunk of justification why he wants to be here? This is so powerful. So, and even though I used it the first time, I didn't let it be. I used it the second time. I used it the third time to make sure that I dig deeper and deeper and deeper, because this is important. Reverse psychology isn't enough just once. You have to make sure that you use it every single time, he gives you a reason that can slip away. Hey, you're already a genius. Why do you want to change? Yeah, I'll do all my I want to have my business and so on. Okay, but you already are a software engineer. So he could always tell me, hey, I'll fall back on my job. Why not? Like, why would you even want to change that? A lot of justification. Okay, but this doesn't sound so bad. Still, a lot of justification. So I am caging him right now. I am creating blocks and possible escape routes. I don't want him to run away. So I'm still creating that.
Got it. Okay. So it's basically about for you to a little bit scale up a little and to make sure that you get just a little bit better conditions for working and be more free, or am I completely off here?
That one is important. What was the last thing that I just said?
Am I getting it wrong here? It's like you're explaining. I'm understanding you like this. Is it correct?
Exactly. But here's the thing. If I would only say, is this correct? They couldn't say yes or no. But when I say, or am I completely wrong here? They are more inclined to agree with me. Also, what I just said there, a lot of that stuff was basically assumptions. I was giving him a recap of what I understood, but I'm not entirely sure if I was right or not. So if I was not right now, I have a huge problem. So therefore, I am adding this little thing at the end to say, or am I completely off? If I would have been off, I wouldn't have taken any damage from it. He would have explained to me the truth, and I wouldn't have a problem. We could have moved on. Since I was correct about it, I get additional credibility for being a good listener. So with this little addendum, if you're not 100% sure, use it and you will have huge improvements in rapport building without having to use any kind of cheesy techniques.
Adam,
Yeah,
before you go on.
Yes?
I was gonna say you rather accept that you're wrong during your conversation rather than, him judging you wrong. Is that what you're talking about? Like
sorry, I didn't catch that.
Already you have accepted that you can be very wrong. So he would rather see it that way than rather it's coming from him telling you that you're wrong.
Yes.
That's why you added that one there. Okay.
Exactly. Because if I am wrong and he tells me, no, you got this wrong, I have a problem. But when I say, am I completely wrong here? If I am, he still is agreeing with me, even if I am wrong. But if I am right, he is still agreeing with me in you are right. So he cannot disagree with me anymore.
Right.
And that is a very useful strategy, because if you prime your prospect to agree with you, later on, the coaching part is way easier. Because if you train your prospect to agree with you, if you do this long enough, after a while, you're just like, hey, buy this. Okay. Right? I had that. I had that sometimes with prospects. They were like, I have no idea what I should do. Do you think I should buy it? And I was like, So let's just recap, okay? Yeah. So do you want to achieve this? Yes. You want to achieve that? Yes. You want to achieve this? Yes. You want to have this? Yes. Okay. And how do you feel about the program per se? Do you think it can help you? Yes. Then I think you should buy. Okay, then. Right? Super easy.
I mean, this is the most important part right now. Yes, like the other thing that I said, like managing people and knowing what they want and understanding their desires and giving them what they want when they are working for you at the same time, if that makes sense.
It does. Okay. And how do you imagine yourself to be like that? So do you have any kind of specific idea, specific plan yet? How to accomplish that? How to learn about the closing? How to, like, basically how to learn selling? Or are you completely new to it? It's like no plan.
Why did I ask this question? And why did I word it the way I worded it?
It shows his commitment, pretty much. long term and ahead of time of actually beginning the training course.
Exactly. And there's also a second one that is extremely important. A second reason why. What exactly were my words?
Yeah, you asked the how question. How did you prepare to learn selling?
Exactly. And I also asked him specifically for a plan. Now that is a catch-22. If he would have had a specific plan, he wouldn't be here, right? So therefore, by asking him for a specific plan, he cannot give me an answer. But since he cannot give me an answer to a question that sounds very simple, he will think, damn, I have no idea how I should do this on my own. So therefore, I'm already preparing to counter the objection of, hey, I can do this on my own. Because they can't. If they could do it, they wouldn't be here. So if they think they can do it alone, they are telling themselves a lie that brings them to procrastination. So this subtle little thing, what is your specific plan to do that? I either get a very specific idea that I can work with, and I can see if the program that we have would support him there, or I show him that he has no clue of what to do, which means he will be grateful that I showed that to him, that I care enough to understand what is important. Make sense so far?
It does, and he can also say at this, for example, oh, well, I also went through this program at this point in time, and this program, and maybe open up to tell you what else he tried in the past to better help you understand whether he succeeded at that or not. Was it the program itself? Because I know how you handle these situations. You ask if it's the program itself.
Mhm.
That's totally perfect, and you identify if he was the issue.
Exactly. Why is it also important to find out if he's the issue or not?
Well, if he doesn't have any conviction and self discipline to see this through, why is this program going to be any different?
Exactly. Also, I want to filter for bad apples. Because if he tells me, yeah, the program was the fault and the trainers were shit and whatever, I'm like, whoa, okay, I don't want to have somebody like that in HTC, right? Because if you get a blamer, you don't want him here.
Right, so he's going to be opinionated about it. He's going to start making excuses and victimizing himself, which pretty much makes him not pass the first 3 rules of HTC.
Exactly.
Not qualify for the first 3 rules.
Exactly. So therefore, always remember the mindset of, I'm not getting paid for this, and I'm getting sued if I let a bad apple in. That's the mindset. If there is no monetary gain for you, but only something to lose if the wrong person joins, you will be double careful, triple careful. You will not allow a single person to get in that is not qualified. All right, let's go on.
Well, right now I'm doing things that I don't know if I will become successful with, that are more of the solopreneur type, because I'm afraid to start everything on my own, start like hiring people. And I'm also looking ways to become a freelancer online. I have applied to a few contractor jobs, but I haven't graduated yet from university. So I don't really care if they're going to hire me or not.
Okay, got
I
it.
just did it for practice.
Sorry?
I just did it for practice, like these interviews, job stuff.
Okay. And what is your time frame? Like, in which time do you want to succeed as an entrepreneur? Do you have
Now that I've qualified him for the basics, I'm starting to go into the time frame. Why is the time frame important to qualify for?
Because you qualified them for instant gratification. Now you want to see the delayed gratification factor, which qualifies him
Exactly.
for TDL.
Yeah, I want to know, is he only in for the short run or is he in for the long run? Will he be somebody who complains after 2 months that he's not a millionaire yet? Or is he somebody that understands that this takes time? Plus, I also want to know if he's is a looky-loo or if he really wants to start now. Because if he says, yeah, my time frame is 2 years. So, okay, well, you're calling now. Yeah, no, I had the time. Okay, no, sorry, not the right fit. But if he says, yeah, I want to start this yesterday, then okay, cool. Now we can talk. So that's the idea why I'm going into time now. Because first, I want to qualify, is it a good fit? Is it a bad apple? What have you tried before? Why did it fail? Because if I ask these general questions about the success of programs first, I know exactly if I have to do the rest of the conversation. I don't want to do what I did in the beginning at the end, because then I waste a lot of time with bad apples. So switch it around, and you will be way more successful. Let's go on.
Any kind of idea already on that?
Well, I'm graduating in 6 months from college. So after that, I think I'm going to feel like I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life. Probably get sick or something. But I want to have this part figured out as soon as possible.
Got it. Okay. And like when you say as soon as possible, I mean, you are graduating in 6 months, right? So it's probably you have a lot of time to learn closing, right? It's not as important to do this now.
See? New topic, new reverse psychology. Because with every new qualifier, time, need, decision maker, and money, every new qualifier I treat as a bill 5 of the need scale. Because I cannot afford any one of them not be hot enough. So when he said I'm graduating in 6 months, I am using that kind of psychology because that shows him I listened and I do care. I care when he wants to start. I'm not trying to push it down his throat. So it's a clarifying question that at the same time shows him that I'm listening.
Yes, I didn't think of that this way. Honestly, I can learn on the side as well.
Okay. So it's easy for you. You can, like, how do you plan to learn closing? Like, do you want to learn it when you started, like, to graduate from the university? Or do you want to learn it sooner?
Now, that sequence here, let's break it down again, step by step, because there was a lot of hypnosis in there.
Can, like, okay.
On the side as well.
So, count the pause when he stops talking.
This way. Honestly, I can learn this thing on the side as well.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I wait 3 seconds before I answer. Why?
He might be thinking and have more to say.
Exactly. Because you could hear it in his voice, he was musing. He was talking to himself right now, not to me. So I left him time just in case something else comes up. I didn't want to risk interrupting a thought that might help solidify and cement in his choice to join. So I shut up for 3 seconds. But only 3 seconds, not more, because otherwise he might maybe be done already and think I'm not answering. So I'm waiting for 3 seconds to let him time, and also, again, silence makes people talk, makes people engaged. If I don't hear something for 3 seconds, okay, he's done. Next part.
So it's easy for you. You can, like, how do you plan to learn closing? Like, when you...
So it's easy for you. So, like, how do you plan on closing? Like,
do you want to learn it when you started, like, to graduate from the university?
So I asked basically the same question again. Because now he was musing, hey, could start sooner, he could do it on the side, but I'm not sure yet. So it's like, So it's easy for you. That wasn't formulated like a question, right? That was a statement. That was a suggestion. That was not a question. So it's easy for you. So, like, how do you plan on learning closing, like, when you graduate? You see, my voice doesn't sound sure. It is full of insecurity and questions to break up. I want to sound weak now because I gave a strong suggestion first. And I want to sound weak the moment the conscious mind catches up. Because the conscious mind was now in musing mode. I had about a few seconds until it came back. Because if a person muses and thinks about it, the unconscious mind is active. It's a form of trance. And if the trance slows down after he finished, and I say something, he's very susceptible. But the conscious mind will test what I just said and will check with me if I'm a bad guy or a good guy. Now, the conscious mind comes back online after I gave him the suggestion of he can do it easily. And the conscious mind sees me stumbling around. He's like, okay, yeah, this guy doesn't try to dominate me. That's fine. And didn't block the it's easy for you. Does this make sense so far? Was this a mind blow? What do you think of that?
You know, when you said it many times, by giving the prospect the right time to catch his thoughts, you show him not only that you care, but you're not qualifying him off of a script. You're not going like full emerald, okay, tick this off, next topic, tick this off, next topic, and so on. And it gives him direct confidence within you to not only answer your questions, but accept statements from you that might be pretty direct, like this one.
Yes. Bullseye.
Or do you want to learn it sooner?
I didn't really think exactly like the time frame before coming into this call. I was planning to ask you lots of questions, but yeah, that's important.
So here you see a nice subtlety. I ended with, or do you want to learn it sooner? The last thing you ask sticks in the mind. Now here he said something funny. I was planning to ask you a lot of questions, and I was laughing at that. Like subconsciously we were like, hey, actually I wanted to be the one who asked the question. Yeah, sure. This was what I was communicating in a friendly way. So this is where he was trying to tell me subconsciously that he wanted to establish dominance before, but he couldn't. And through my laughing, I was like, sure you can't, because I'm the one who's dominant, but I'm not an ass about it. And that built additional rapport on a subconscious level.
Sure thing. This is what this call is for, right? So.
And then, after subconsciously telling him I'm the boss, consciously I'm like, hey, sure, this is what the call is for, right? To get his conscious mind at ease again. Do you see how I alternate between conscious and unconscious portions of the call to make sure that I engage all of his mind in this? Yes? No?
Yes, and he was coming into this with his own agenda, but he did not find that you had an agenda. On the contrary, came in to listen to him. He may not have gotten to the questions, but he is getting some of his answers without directly answering those questions.
Exactly. And if you can answer questions of a prospect before they ask it, you gain instant trust, instant authority. So powerful.
I really want to help you out here. And this is why I'm asking you those questions too. Because, as you just said, some things you don't really think about, right?
And here, I justify why I am the one who asks the questions, because he doesn't think about it yet.
Because I have a lot of experience in this now. Like, you want to be an entrepreneur, I already am one. So if you have any specific questions there, feel free to ask them too, okay?
Here I offer another point of authority together with help. You want something from me? I already am where you want to be. With this, I preempt the question of, will this work? Because I already succeeded. I told him that before he asked me, did you do the program? Did you succeed with it? I told him, hey, I already am an entrepreneur. He's like, okay, that's legit. And now he doesn't have to ask me if I went through the program.
So right now, like the previous semester just ended. I have a little bit free time because I'm not studying for exams. But I wanted to understand, like, how much time does this program require?
It really depends of how much time you want to give. I recommend you put in as much as possible. So for you as a comparison frame, I put in 2 to 3 hours a day in practice, and I put in like about 6 to 7 hours per week once for the longer live classes.
Now, you see, I am coaching him, I am advising him now. This is only possible because I established myself as I already did that, I am already there, and I primed him to listen to my advice. Listen to his reaction to that.
Oh, all right, so it's like 20 to 25 hours per week.
Yeah, give or take. Is this something that you can do, or is this something that is rather like too much for you now since you're studying?
So, you see, again, I left him 3 seconds time before I asked him, is this something you can do? But I always answer when I answer a question, I throw it back too. I answer it and I throw it back to make sure that it hits the mark.
Well, I can miss one day out of school each week.
And by the way, in which time zone are you in?
Oh, I live in Greece, and depending on the season, it's GMT +2 or GMT +3.
Okay, got it. So basically, you are about 1 hour ahead of me. Okay, so for you then, it will be the classes would be depending on daylight savings, but the classes will probably be between 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning. Is this something you can do?
If it's once per week, yes, okay.
Yeah, it would be the Friday. Like for them, it is 8 p.m. For them, it's 6 p.m. In the Pacific time zone. For us in this zone, it is about 3 to 4 a.m. p.m.
For us, establishing a team frame.
a.m. Sorry, 3 to 4 a.m. Yeah, it's once a week, so it should be doable. Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. So also something that is very important to check is I wanna set a few expectations, right? Because most people that ask and think, hey, okay, you can learn closing, you can make a lot of money, you can become a better communicator. Like, what is the most important skill that you want to learn? You told me that you want to learn to communicate better, but I really want to know that, like, the main motivation for you to join this program, just to set a few expectations.
Well, I understand. Well, the main thing that makes me want to learn from Dunlop is that I don't know what I don't know, and for this reason, I keep like pushing myself to learn things out of my comfort zone, so that I feel secure and that I understand how a business can be successful, right? Because most of the businesses that start out fail, like 9 out of 10. So this is like the main reason I keep following Dan, because he makes things be more simple in terms of getting clients and revenue to the business. And when I start my own business, I don't want to have people count on being able to deliver when I say that we're going to find our clients from abroad and things like that.
So you see also basically the business acumen is something that interests you. You want to learn also basically how to lead an enterprise, how to make sure that you are safe and you don't make mistakes that cost you everything, correct?
Yes, and also develop the trust and have a track record with my clients, with my employees, and if you don't know like how to market yourself and how to talk properly to business owners, you're going to be in a huge disadvantage.
And with this, he gave me his business pay now. We are at level 2 pay. Any questions so far? Because it was a very long chunk. Any questions? Stuff like that.
Can I point something out?
Yes.
So up until this point, this whole started with how you positioned yourself when you spoke about entrepreneurship.
Okay, it seems like I cut out.
Can you hear me?
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we
I
can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, so he was the one who was then losing connection.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can, yes.
Okay, so it all started back when you positioned yourself as the authority speaking about entrepreneurship. You imagine meeting your idol, so you are his idol. He is in front of you and a little bit intimidated. This is who I am. This is where you want to be. But then you made the genius of, instead of being in a confrontational position, butting heads, you went shoulder to shoulder. It opened up the rest of the room to preempt every single common objection down the line. And then you closed it. You went full loop, and now you're closing it on entrepreneurship again, discussing all of the small bits that happen immediately, and now you're talking about the long run. And he can trust you fully because you told him, I was where you are, and this is where I am. He is fully committed to learn from you. You're not just qualifying him, you're educating him from many points of view. And he also has a first glimpse of what to expect further into HTC from the person that taught you.
Exactly. With this, I instill tremendous trust because I set expectations without him. But because if I would have promised him the world, he would have been skeptical. But by telling him I want to set some expectations, I'm realistic, respecting his goals. At the same time, I'm not overhyping it. So I'm exactly the opposite of a salesperson. And I speak about the long run with him, as you completely correctly stated. Any other questions at this point, or any other ideas, any other things you want to say? Anyone in the room, of course. Everybody is free to speak.
Hey Adam, this is Shang. I'm curious, why did you break the pattern and start asking about what time zone it is? It's like one question about which country is he living right now, and you ship into the time for the class. But why did you break the pattern at that time?
Because the pattern was already flowing, and if a person gets used to the pattern, the conscious mind gets active. The conscious mind is the one who is criticizing everything. So in that case, I wanted to break the pattern with a question that is theoretically non-emotional, so he doesn't get too weary of what I'm doing. And at the same time, when he asked, like, why did he ask me that? I can tell him exactly at what point in time the classes are. So I can tell him, hey, it's that time for you. So I'm providing additional value and service, additional qualification, and also I'm breaking the pattern to make sure that it doesn't get too obvious of what I'm doing. Make sense?
Yes, makes sense. Are there any hidden lingo behind the all the thing that you discussed with him before that, combined with his reality of where he are at right now? Are there any hidden lingo?
In that case, the hidden stuff is rather how I do it, not what I say. So there are rather the hidden strategies of instilling trust by casually saying that I already am an entrepreneur, that I'm already where he wants to be. That I asked him about his plans that he doesn't have. That I was establishing trust by being very, very open and by being very kind. So these are a few things that are very, very powerful and extremely, extremely unnoticeable. Because it sounds like a normal conversation, but in reality, this is like a full-blown hypnosis session. So I just noticed we are already, like, this is amazing, guys. I love that. We are only 13 minutes in, and it's almost an hour over. This is awesome. Love it. So I do have a closing call and a huddle very soon, like in the next 5 minutes. So if you want to, this is my offer to all of you. We can continue this little debrief next week, same time, if you want. Yes? Great.
Great.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, that
please.
would be lovely.
Yes,
Awesome.
that would be great.
Very happy to hear that. Let's
Hey there,
do that
Adam.
again.
This is Chang again. Very quick question, because I do notice during the phone call in very beginning, you have no background noise. When you transitioning to the closing part, they're starting to have some background noise on your side. Are you doing that on purpose? Because I noticed for 2 role play you did, that started to happen. So I'm not so sure, is it you do it on purpose or not in purpose?
So in that case, that was not on purpose. That was a problem because by then I didn't figure out how to mute Discord, and I had a lot of background noise because my microphone wasn't working. So this is definitely a minus. This is 100% a minus. So I highly recommend to make sure that you have absolutely zero background noise. Unlike me at this call, because I did deactivate everything, like the Discord, like I deactivated Telegram and the internet and whatever, sorry, the email system. But the Discord, I couldn't mute Discord, and so therefore it was ping, 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 ping all the time. So this is something you should not have. Make sure it is completely quiet.
Okay,
I have a very quick fix.
Yes.
Very quick fix. Get any OBS program, go into settings, and turn on recording mode. It's going to mute every single piece of your computer except the one that you directly choose to record off of. In this case, you will choose Discord, and then you go into the settings of Discord. Actually, this is something everybody's going to benefit from. Go into notifications. By the way, is the cogwheel next to your picture on the bottom left, right? It's so click user settings, notifications, scroll down where it says sounds and disable every single one of them because you don't need them. It's going to prevent any kind of sound. It's going to make your roleplay experience much better. You won't hear people coming in and out, random calls, random pauses, mutes, unmutes, stuff like that.
Perfect. It's very useful.
Adam is already doing it. So his next recording is going to be on point.
Yes, it 100% will be. Now everything
I'm going to make a video out of this and post it on Facebook so everybody can see it.
Sweet. That is very helpful. So in that case, let's take the break here. Next week, same time. So it will be my 4 p.m. again. And for everybody else, like the time that you joined, it will be on Discord again. So we will meet here. And it will also be an hour again. I think we should be able to do this in like 3 to 4 sessions and go really in detail there. And let's remember that this call is now at 3 minutes and 53 seconds so that we can pick up where we left.
Okay. So Adam,
Awesome.
you just want us to meet you here, right?
Yes, let's meet again in Discord. I think this is way better because at the moment that we went all in Zoom, I was like, wait a second. I don't know if everybody is in Inner Circle. First of all, we are not supposed to meet outside of Discord. So that was the first thing. And I thought, well, I have to make sure that this is all according to the HTC rules. So, and we still can record it, right? So therefore, last minute, I decided to switch over to Discord. And it was a very good idea.
Okay, thank you, Adam.
You're most
Appreciate
welcome.
that.
100%, my pleasure. Thank you for being here. I'm looking forward to see you here next week again because we have a lot more powerhouses here in petto. There will be some very secret techniques of hypnosis that I'll show you in there. It's very cool stuff. You're welcome.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you. See you again.
See you next week. My pleasure.